Have an Xbox One in a media cabinet and it's overheating? Stay tuned. Welcome back again, guys. This week we're going to take a quick look at the Antec X1 cooler. This is it kind of sits on top. It's got a bigger fan. It helps cool the thermals on the Xbox One even more. I already have an opinion on some portions of this. We're going to go ahead and unbox it, get it on the Xbox One, and we'll come back with the review after that. Okay, guys, if you've been watching the channel, you know I recently rebought an Xbox One on a Black Friday deal. One of the reasons was because I thought it was such a good deal. The other reason was because Antec was nice enough to send over an X1 cooler for me to take a look at. Now, this lives in an AV cabinet, and my AV cabinet does get pretty warm. The other Xbox One I had never really had any problems, but this really looked like a cool item, especially if you have somewhere where you really need to exhaust the heat away from the unit itself. So we're going to take a look. On the back you can see the Xbox One vents in through the side and out through the top. Well, it doesn't really get it away from the machine, and it winds up circulating back into the intake, unfortunately. It's something I've seen happen even in my own AV rack. What this does is it's going to force the air out the back. So there is some intake on the back too, but it's going to force the air out the back and up a little bit with a nice bigger fan. Now, they say there's a 30-degree temperature drop, and we will be looking at this in my AV rack once it's all ready to go. But I already know that I'm going to have one complaint here, and I wish that they would have put a little more plastic on this so that it covered the entire top of the Xbox One, because it makes it nice. And why I really wanted it more than anything is it makes it so that you can't accidentally sit something on top of the exhaust, right? So now you can use, put stuff on there if you want to, because I tend to lay DVDs and games and things on top of my Xbox One. Now, if this was the entire length of the Xbox One, it would look nice. Unfortunately, it's only half. Well, and it's not even really half. It's a little bit less than half. So I wish they would have, given you the option of a plastic piece that goes here so that the whole thing could be the same level. That would have been nice. It does look nice, actually. It draws power off of the USB. So you plug USB in to the back of the Xbox and the little jack into the back here, and it gives you a pass-through so that you still have access to that USB slot. But it does draw the power off of there, and it just has, a nice big blower-style fan, and it just is going to get the air away from the unit itself. So not, super expensive. I believe it's $29. So if you do have a problem of your Xbox in an AV rack like where I keep mine, or you just want to be, make something so that you don't have to worry about sitting something on top of it, this is a good solution. It's definitely going to vent away from the unit better than just letting it come out the top. The one reason too I wish it would have been extended over is because then you could put another piece of AV equipment on top, which is kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to put, something on top of the Xbox in my AV stack. This would have allowed that, but with the way it vents, you really don't want, you want this, if you don't have this, with this exhaust, the way it goes, you really don't want to sit an AV component on top of the Xbox. I tried that once and it overheated pretty darn quick. That's where this would help. Unfortunately, you can't really put anything on top because it doesn't go the whole way across. So that's the only downside I see with this. It'd be kind of cool if, like for $5 or something, they just sold, the extra piece of plastic, or it just came with the extra piece of plastic. Because really all it needs to be is just a piece of plastic that would hold up to something sitting on it. Not a big deal. Let's go ahead and take a look at this installed in the AV rack. I'll do some temperature readings with and without it running, and we'll see if it actually makes any difference or not. Okay guys, so here is the Antec cooler. It's installed. I know it's a little hard to see, but it's right above. The first thing I noticed is the fact that there's the LED, the display for the incoming and outgoing temperature, or the ambient air temperature and the regular air temperature, are actually on top of the device. So if, like here, you have it at the top of your AV stack, you're not really going to see it. So basically I have to get, up on my tippy toes. What is it? Very hard to see. The second thing is the little blue indicator light, also on top, also very hard to see to know whether it's on or off. The cable to plug it in for power is extremely short. So in this case, where I don't really have good access to the rear of my AV gear, you basically have to turn everything sideways to plug it in. So it really sucks that it's not a little bit longer. Just make it easier. And finally, it still is the fact that it's not the whole width. Kind of does bug me. In this case, it's not that big of a deal because it does sit on top of my AV gear and I don't have anything else in my AV rack. But if I had like a PlayStation or something else that I wanted to sit on top of the Xbox, I do really wish that it was the full width of the Xbox. Other than that, it does make about a 10-degree difference in my case. I measured the air coming out just ambiently and the air getting vented away, and it does make a little bit of a difference. It is going to help, and the nice thing is it will stay on after the Xbox turns off for a little while until the temperature gets down below 30 Celsius. So, 29 bucks. If you're worried about your AV gear overheating, if you're worried about your Xbox overheating, and you want, maybe a 10-degree Fahrenheit reduction in heat, it's probably worth the $30. Like I said, I do wish it was the full size, and that really is my primary complaint. I really do also wish the LED was on the front and disableable. It would be nice to be able to turn it on and off. But other than that, for 30 bucks, it's a pretty good deal. This is Tim for Timmy Tech TV. Check you guys next time.